Hey guys, we're the Lima Crew and we have two special visitors. Can you tell us a little bit about you guys?
Sure. We're here from the Providence Children's Film Festival, and we're here to talk about the film festival that happens in Providence in February. Eric?
I'm Eric Bilodeau. I'm the executive director of the film festival, and this is Kristen Bilodeau, and she's the managing director. So we know a lot about how the festival is run, and we know a lot about what's going to be coming up in February when the festival happens. So it's been going on for 16 years now, so we've had some experience, and it happens every February. So when you guys are on school vacation, we have the festival at different locations around Providence, including right around the corner from here at the South Providence Library.
We're so happy to be here and share everything that the film festival is about.
Thank you, that was awesome. And we have some questions for you guys. My first question is, why is it special to see films from other countries?
Good question for you.
I think the answer is different for everybody, actually. But generally speaking, I think when you see stories from other countries, you learn more about the people that live there. You learn about their culture. You learn about their foods, their music, and so many things. And then you realize that our country is made up of so many different cultures that come here, live here, but also are represented in countries in other continents. So it's really to see the stories of other people. You actually kind of grow closer together because you become more familiar with them. So and I love a good story. So many stories come from other places in the world, not just from where we live. So I'm all ears.
What I love about watching films from other countries is that you see the differences in how people live all over the world, but then also all the similarities. And I think we're all humans on one big planet, and I love to see those connections.
Now for my second question. What is the first film you ever remember watching and how old were you?
Do you remember?
Oh, I absolutely remember it. And it's Wizard of Oz, and I was in kindergarten. That's the one that stayed with me first, the longest in my mind. And watching it, not in kindergarten, but while I was in that age, so 5 years old.
I have to say that was the most memorable film for me too. I think because it made me scared. So it was the first film that had the combination of fantasy and beauty and humor, but then also made me scared.
Now for Sarah.
Thank you, Maria. So my first question is, when did you know you wanted this film to be your job?
Eric, for you.
All right, so film's pretty much always been in my life. I actually grew up partly in a movie cinema. We had a bedroom in a actual movie cinema. So we'd work the evening shows and then go have dinner and go to bed upstairs next to the booth. So I've been around movies all my life. So for me, it feels very natural to be working with film. I don't think I ever had that moment where I said I want to work with film. I do like, though, it grew on me, and I really do. I've been putting on stories and presentations and film presentations for 40 years now. So I kind of fell into it, but I love it. So that's why, and I stay with it. So
I didn't grow up wanting to be involved with film, but I'm a sculptor, and so I'm an artist in a different way, and which means I appreciate film, and I like to watch films because they're they're filled with stories, and I enjoy looking at someone else's form of artwork. And then got involved in the Providence Children's Film Festival with Eric.
How many movies do you watch each year to prepare for the film festival?
Ooh, Eric, that's for him.
We get a lot of movies, and these are and I watch mostly short films. These are not all feature-length films, but about 700 to 800, And that's an average. Some years it's more, some years it's maybe a little bit less. But we get a lot of films from all over the world, so I watch every single one, and it's a lot of movies. Yeah.
That was so interesting. Now for Diana.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
My first question is, what's the difference between watching a film and going to the festival?
Have you been to a festival?
No.
No? Has anyone here been to a festival?
Yes.
Yes.
Dominican Festival.
Oh yeah, Dominican Festival.
Really?
Nice.
So then it can be a film festival, it can be a food festival, it can be a music festival, and usually whatever's being presented on multiple stages or screens, something complements the screening. In addition to having music, say of a certain sort from a certain country, then there's usually food from that country, and then there's usually crafts or some kind of artwork from that country. So a film festival is very much the same way. So we show the films, and then it's not just showing the films, but it's also we serve soup. Every day we serve a soup that represents a culture from a country of a film being shown that day. So for 10 days we have 10 different soups from all around the world. And then we have live music that's going to be performed during the film festival. So it turns into more of a party kind of atmosphere around films rather than just like sit down, watch a film and leave the cinema. So it's much more interactive. And also we have workshops. And so we do filmmaking workshops that people just drop in and they can play with and just kind of learn how to do stop motion. And so if a festival is all encompassing, it brings a lot of different ingredients together and around whatever the presentation is, and it happens to be film for us. Great question.
Thank you. My next question is, how many people come to the festival?
You want to answer that?
Sure. Thousands, honestly, which is kind of amazing. Before COVID, we had about 5,000 people come to the festival. And then during COVID, it was all online, right? Mm-hmm. And then when we brought the film festival back in person, it was a few thousand, then 4,000. So now we're hoping this year that we might get back to pre-COVID levels of about 5,000 people coming. We also do film screenings in parks and things like that during the summertime, like outdoor film screenings, Roger Williams Park and some of the parks. India Point Park, and also some of the parks around Providence, the neighborhood parks. So it's not just the festival in February. We also try and get out and do things during the summertime for families.
Wow. Thank you. That was probably the best answer I've ever heard in my life. Anyways, now for Frammy.
Okay, so my first question is, what do you most love about watching films?
Oh, most love. I mean, I just love a good story. You know, we're doing this interview in a library, in a room full of stories. And so I could curl up with a book and enjoy that as much as a film, but I love films. So who doesn't love a good story? And it can be, it transcends all the emotions too. Not just, it doesn't have to be a happy story to be a film I like. There's some great sad stories that really, and they end up staying with you. Or as we were talking about The Wizard of Oz, scary stories. Like it stayed with me my whole life. I remember it since, that's 55 years ago when I saw the Wizard of Oz, and I can still remember the winged monkeys like it was yesterday. So it's really, it's what I love about watching. I love a story, and the film tells a story really well, can tell it really well. And a well-told story stays with you, and it enriches my life, and it makes me hopefully a more interesting person.
Thank you. Now, for my second question is, what is the farthest place someone has come from in order to attend the festival?
Japan. We had four youth filmmakers fly in from Japan. This is right before COVID, when traveling wasn't as, I don't know, as competitive. But so yes, Japan, we regularly have people coming from Europe. We've had an African filmmaker come as well, from, I want to say Kenya. And then, and then from all around the United States, we get filmmakers from Canada, and also from everywhere from California to Massachusetts and Rhode Island. We have local filmmakers too that put their films into the film fest, and they bring their friends and family, and it turns into, it's really wonderful because film is something that every culture makes and tells stories through. So it makes it a real world affair. So yeah.
Well, those are some amazing answers. Thank you for answering all of our questions. Before we got, how does this work? How do you get the tickets, and how much does it cost? How does the film festival work?
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned before, it's in February. It's 10 days over school vacation. It happens at all different venues around Providence. We do this intentionally so that we're hopefully coming to a neighborhood near you. So we go to libraries like South Providence Library and the Mount Pleasant Library. We also do it at Hope High School. It's going to be opening night. It's going to be at the Wheeler School, the Gilder Center. It's going to be at Rhode Island School of Design, the museum, and a couple of other locations. So it'll be at all these different locations, and to get tickets, it's the usual thing, you go online. And tickets are actually, it's pay what you can or nothing at all. So if you don't have any money, not a problem. Just sign up and tell us how many tickets you want, and go ahead and enter. And then if you can't afford to help support the festival, then that's great. So we ask people that who can't afford or want to help contribute, they contribute, and often people contribute even more. So which is awesome, because it helps offset the cost and a lot of people can't afford to pay multiple shows. So it's whatever you want to pay, and it's hopefully at a venue that's near you. So we try to do that intentionally, and. I think that's it for logistics for the Film Fest. Did I forget?
Just that the website that you go to is providencechildrensfilmfestival.org, and that's where you learn about all the different films. We do lots of shorts programs, so an hour's worth of short films from all over the world, and then we have some feature-length films, which are the long ones, so you can pick which shorts programs you want to go to, and what location, and which feature-length films you want to see. There are descriptions for all of them, so you can read about them and then make your decisions. Like you would at a movie theater. You'd be like, I want to see that one, I want to see that one.
And they're in all languages. So they're all in their native languages, in Spanish, or in Chinese, or in Farsi, or in French. So you'll need to do a little subtitle reading if you don't speak that language of the film, but we do get films from around. We keep them in their native languages, so you can hear the sound of what a different languages sound like. Sorry.
Thank you for answering that question. Probably people that don't know about it now, they can know what the film festival is. And I just want to say thank you for being here, for taking your time and being here answering our questions. We have heard of you. Just thank you.
No,
Thank you.
Bye.